Let's take a banger trade. Put some turkey on the table. How are you guys doing today? So the only major draw I see here is these equal highs. And I don't want to retarget the low of day because we took out a pretty massive liquidity target this morning. So I'm probably just going to be looking for longs out of this 15-minute gap that we're about to put in. And then if we just retrace out of this 5 here and get this long, you'd want to wait for this gap also to be inversed. So yeah. So I'm not really sure outside of those equal highs what kind of targets we could have laid out for us today. Maybe 50%, which conveniently lines themselves up with the equal highs. So I'm guessing we'll just get a long up to there, and that will be our target for the PM session. So we put in the 15-minute now. Ideally, I'd like to see like one, nice candle down here, put in a 30-second SIBI or a 1-minute here, and then be able to take a long from there. This gap right here is okay for an inverse. It's 6 points, and this is decent momentum. But I think I'd rather see the 15 get hit here, personally, before trying to take a long. So no close over this high or over this gap. I don't think this is like a light bulb entry. I really think the better play is going to be out of the 15 here. But I could be wrong, and this just be the play that takes us up. So I'm going to really hope that that's not the case, but I feel like the light bulb entry will come from the 15 year. So the only trade that I took today was the 2-minute inverse we got before sweeping the low. I took it on eval, and it ended up being a break-even trade for me. This one was decent. This one was also a break-even, though. And then after that, this trade was decent, but it ended up being a break-even. Then this trade was decent, but ended up being a break-even. And then, yeah. So, just break-even trades. No opportunity to catch this long. Maybe when we inversed, this 1 minute, I guess you could have went long, but at that point, your stop is huge. So. I might try this on eval. This is like a B plus setup. It's good. The momentum's good, but now the close is really high. I really wish we'd hit the 15-minute before, but the 5 looks like it was good enough. Yeah, I think it's just best to wait for the 15 year since we have the bearish SMT still from 1140. NQ swept this high, but ES hasn't even come close. So just overall uncorrelated conditions, meaning not the greatest PA. So there's a good chance that this ends up, failing and not being a working play just because of the price action. I think the draw is definitely higher though. So yeah, we want to see price displace over this previous high and just continue to work higher here. I don't think I'm gonna use the. Oh, you're talking about. I think it was a break even, right? Oh, maybe not actually. I mean, technically the break even point is this high here. No, no, it was because this candle came back down. So yeah, that was a break even trade. I wonder if we're just gonna trend A up into the close. You know, like we're just gonna keep getting long entries all the way up and not even like react to 50. Um, Adrian, I said it might be a good play on eval, but I thought it would be better to come back for the 15 here that we left unfilled. I think just longs are gonna work here. It's about to like just go off like crazy. We have like the potential to like maybe see a stop candle once ES takes its 1140 high, but I don't know. I feel like this is just gonna keep going up. Unless am I missing something? No. It feels like a pretty straight shot now to the equal highs. I'd still be okay though if we came back down and like, you know, swept this 1 minute, hit the 15-minute gap, and then got a long. That would be sick. Because then we could get in before the equal highs hit. But I have a feeling we'll probably just watch him hit without us. So closing above this candle now. So now we put in a 5-minute order block. That last candle there was so bullish on that close. I'm just watching the dodgy lore in indices chat. What lore? Oh, yeah, I see. Yo, wait, what is he saying? Wait. What? Wait, do not go to indices chat. What the? How? Why is he posting that? Bro, what are we doing? Um, yeah, still not much to say. You're just watching price slowly grind up. Don't really want to see these candles though. If you're bullish here and you want price to go higher. Maybe we're just coming back to test the OB on the 5 minute. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think you really want to see these candles just randomly reversing before heading higher. I feel like price should just be going up. Maybe we will come back for the 15. Oh, I thought PM Stream had access to indices chat. Do you guys, if you're PM Stream subs only, do you not have access to PM Stream? I mean to indices chat? We do. Oh, okay, gotcha. Never mind then. We do, unfortunately. Yeah, this is. I feel like I should step in here and say something. This is like a trading chat. We are trying to be a little professional. If you guys want to have these conversations, I suggest maybe like after hours or indices chat for this. I feel like maybe we shouldn't be in here, talking about it. I shouldn't have even brought it up. Do I speak Spanish? No, no. I should though. I took 5 years of it in high school, but like I can read it, I can understand it, most stuff. I could get my way around a Spanish speaking country, but probably couldn't hold a conversation with a speaker. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm half Mexican, so my dad is full Mexican. Yeah, he's from Guadalajara, so yeah. I saw that, Mr. Fahrenheit. I don't know where your heart's at, bro. In the charts, hopefully. Okay, so hopefully we put in this OB here and just continue to see price ride higher. Dapper, it's to the left. It's down the hall to the left. So we have a bearish SMT now. ES hasn't broken over this high. Just need to continue to see, bullish candle closes over previous highs in order to confirm us going for 50% here. Um, ooh, okay, that's a bad reaction. We might get a stop candle now off that. We have an SMT and we have like that. Yeah, that's bad. This needs to like reverse that move like on this candle like instantaneously in order for that not to be a stop candle. If this doesn't happen and we chop, we're gonna drop. I feel like. Um, I would rate it F because you're trading during lunch, which is outside the kill zone. Oh, I'll keep an eye on it. Don't worry, Frosty. He's already been on the list. Yeah, so now another SMT. I feel like we're gonna get a stop candle here. Yeah, that's just not the momentum you want to see down right into the macro. All right, cool. So maybe we will see an entry then before the equal highs get taken. So here's the macro. Um, ooh, maybe we're just retracing the 2 minute actually. I don't know. I feel like ES is just really bearish. So it looks like we are going to close over the 30-second here. So during macro times, usually price should just accelerate to any targets that it wants, and we're just not really seeing that here with NQ. We're just kind of chopping around. So just really indicative of not the greatest price action in the world. All right, so good momentum up there. Maybe the macro will end up working out anyway. Come on, equal highs. Adrian, are you still in? Yes, 3 contracts. All right, man. I would probably sell two at the equal highs and then just leave a runner past that because we could just be in trend day and or like trying to complete the market maker model here and go for like maybe this high, 899. Still 100 points away. That could be a $200 runner right there. This 30-second even worked. I feel like all longs here are just gonna work, right? Like close above here, then respected here on this candle. Entry, no close below, but just really bad PA. It's just sloppy price conditions. Um, Flex toaster depends on what kind of PD arrays are in the way. So like, let's say you got in off this entry here on the 30-second. Um, here I would be trailing my stop below the 5-minute OB, which we don't have one. So maybe we have a 3, maybe we have a 2. Honestly, yeah, I think in this scenario I would just leave my stop at break even on the runner because there's no real like good place where like price could come back to that would like, you know. So like, let's say you get in here at 779. You have this 15-minute gap that price could retrace to. You have, the equal lows that price could retrace to here. So it's just probably best to just leave it at break even where it's at because you could see price come back all the way here, not hit your stop, and then continue all the way back up. But yeah, equal highs are pretty obvious here. I wish there was an entry that I could have alerted there, but I mean, if I ever alerted this, I'd lose my streaming privileges. Nowhere. Just like the general consensus was up here. I said the liquidity target was definitely higher. It sucks because like so often in PM I'll know exactly where the market's going and I'll say like we're going for this specific target. I'll mark everything out, but there will just be no entry for us. And the reason why it's important to wait for an entry is because you can't really have like a concrete stop if you don't wait for an IPG play. If you just try and take a trade, whatever, you'll find excuses to stay in the trade even though it's a losing trade. But yeah, Flex Toaster, if we ever like are in a trade that's like really running and then we put in like an obvious OB, that will be like where I trail my stop. But on this trade there isn't one. So close to the equal highs now. All right, full port long here. This is a free trade to the equal highs. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. That was a joke. What are the indicators that I'm using? Out of options, equal highs and lows, and weekly opening gap by Kryptonite. So the one gives you the new week opening gap, and the other gives you the equal highs, like automatically. Yeah, so we do have the 2 p.m. candle here in 30 seconds. So maybe we'll leave the equal highs behind and we'll get a long entry all the way back at the 15. I doubt it. That's not going to happen. But that would be cool. No, Frosty, no. All right, send me a DM, Frosty. I got you. Um. So remember why I say you guys need to take partials, a few ticks before the target. Hey, this could be one of those scenarios where it saves you. So Flex Toaster, at the close and open of every hourly candle, you have multiple candles that are all closing at the same time. So you have the 1 hour, the 30 minute, the 15 minute, the 5 minute, the 3 minute, the 2 minute, etc. So it's almost like uh, an added moment of like volatility where every single one of those candles closes and people are closing out trades or reopening trades or whatever, right? It's just an injection of volume into the market. Whoa. All right, that was a candle and a half. This has to be the thing that takes us to the equal highs. There's no way we get a candle like that and then it fails. Unless this is just like the worst PA ever. This is what a good order block, by the way, looks like, guys. But it's on the 15 seconds. So just imagine this on like the 1 minute, and then that's where I'd be trailing my stop. Oh my gosh, yeah, this is just the worst PA ever. But you guys should know that, right? So anytime there's trading before a holiday, it's never going to be good price action. Can somebody tell me why? Why do you guys think that trading before holidays specifically produces bad PA? Yeah, so you're just going to get less volume from institutional players and just less volume in general, even from retail, right? Everybody's trying to spend time with their family and organize things, and they're traveling and whatever, right? And we're here on the charts trying to make turkey dinner happen. So you're just not going to really have like the greatest price action during low volume conditions, and the days before the holidays usually produce that. Um, that's about it. I don't I don't necessarily think that the days before like something like New Year's will be that bad because you have like the yearly candle close, right? So you have all of the different institutions buying and selling and closing out positions and whatever. So there should be some volume ahead of New Year's, um, especially that Friday before. But there's also that added chance of like, oh, maybe people are taking care of their stuff, right before the end of Q4. Um, Maybe that last couple of weeks of December, and then everything else is just busy work towards the end of the year. So um, maybe that week between Christmas and New Year's isn't like the greatest. Also, I don't know. It's been a year since I traded, and I don't really remember exactly the Christmas PA. I know Dodgy did a backtesting video on the 2 weeks around Christmas, and it wasn't the greatest. So we'll see. But yeah, this is just really bad PA. The wicks are bigger than the candles on a good majority of these 1 minute candles, and we're just not getting a lot of volume here. Yeah, so Mr. Fahrenheit, the volume on the daily chart might not look bad, but look at the intraday chart. Like there might have been a good chunk of volume during Asia. There might have been a good chunk of volume, right at open. But throughout the day is what matters because that's what we're trading. Right? Like 90% of today's volume could have came from like this one candle. Right? Market is closed all day tomorrow, and it's a half day on Friday. So I will not be trading either of those days. I will be enjoying my friends and family. No, tomorrow the whole market's closed all day. Yeah, it opens at 6 p.m. Oksano, and then but that's basically like the start of Friday. So that's what I mean when I say it's closed all day. You guys could always trade like meme coins. I saw something else from CME. So equities, which is what we trade. So at 4 o'clock it closes, okay? And then on Friday, the 29th of November, we have the open at 5 p.m., which is like this is like from Thursday. Does that make sense? And then it says trade date for 12:15 closed, and then this is all Central Time, I think. So today we close at 5, and then we reopen Thursday. But this is actually supposed to say Thursday, not Friday. I don't know. Basically, it's closed. Just don't trade those 2 days. That might be for Forex. I think that's for Forex, Oksano. I don't think that's for equities. I think equities are closed all day. I don't know though. At the end of the day, we're discussing semantics here. Nobody's gonna be trading tomorrow. It's gonna be bad, choppy conditions. So don't trade. Like, there's even if the market's open tomorrow, which I don't think it is, but even if it was, don't trade. So if it's open till 1, don't trade. Don't even look at the chart tomorrow. Watch football. help out the missus with putting together food or whatever, and just chill out. Just have a nice relaxing day. Fill up the gas tank, um, or the petrol tank or whatever. Take a nice moment to rest your psychology, and we'll be back Monday. Duke, don't you guys have like beans on toast or something, or like jacket potatoes or fish and chips? Like, make it work, man. I don't know. Asem, yes. I mean, I look at the higher time frame and where we're delivering from to determine bias, and then I use draw on liquidity as well. So my bias going into the session was okay. We swept liquidity. We are currently um like bouncing out of this 1 hour gap that was violated, but we're just basically reacting off liquidity at this point. We've gotten the sweeps and now we're getting the retrace. That's kind of like the where we're delivering from aspect. We have this 15-minute here that we're delivering off of, right? It's been left unfilled this whole time. Filled it for the first time today. And then we have 50% above, and we have the equal highs here. So yeah, my mom makes like scalloped potatoes, like in the casserole dish. Those are good. I'm bullish for the whole rest of the day. I think we put in low of day, so I won't be taking any shorts, but I would anticipate like a retrace once we hit 50, or once we take the equal highs or something like that. I don't know what funeral potatoes are. They got to be like some Ixano special. Do they put like cornflakes on top of that? Oh, yeah, I've had those before. My grandma used to make those. They're just supposed to make it like crispy. Honestly, I didn't really like the whole cornflakes on top of the potatoes thing. I think it's okay. I think they'd be better with like breadcrumbs or something, or just like cheese on top. But maybe my grandma just didn't make it the best. Maybe hers were just like I I don't know. You correct me, Exano. Don't they normally get like stale on top? Like they get like really dry and they're not like really crispy. They're just kind of like they're like I don't even know. It's like not really like cereal texture, but it's also not like yeah, no, a day after they're awful. Um I mean they're not awful, but like they're not like I'd rather have mashed potatoes. I mean everything a day after on Thanksgiving is just dry. Like you just gotta cover everything in gravy and cranberry sauce and call it a day. Make like a friend sandwich or whatever. Are we finally gonna hit the equal highs for Adrian? We respected the gap, so that's awesome. That's exactly what you want to see if we're bullish here, right? You don't want to see if you're expecting bullish price conditions, you don't want to see price violating bullish PD arrays. So there's the equal highs. Adrian got his TP. Let's go. Yeah, I would try holding a runner. There's 50. So maybe I would try and hold a runner to here at 899. And then now we have a good place for the stop. I just realized. So if we were to close below this for value gap now, right? That would be your stop. So you can trail your stop like here or something like 794. Oh my god, the breakout. The LRLR breakout. Yeah, that's clean. Sorry, this PA is like so choppy and so bad. I'm. It's gonna clean up next week. I have no doubt about it. Like we're gonna hit a good trade next week. I should have just alerted this 30-second. It was clean. Obviously, it's hindsight for me to say that, but liquidity draw was just higher there. Like we knew that. Yeah, I said this was like B plus, just because we didn't really get a major liquidity sweep. We didn't hit unfilled liquidity. We had this 15-minute below, and it like wasn't a good obvious gap. Same thing with this one. It's not good or obvious. Um, but it works, which is annoying. Like this is 4 points. Like I knew that something like this would work. This is just those situations where like you just gotta wait for the obvious setup, right? Like the setup I'm always gonna look for is the like it's gotta just be like after sweeping liquidity, not in the middle of the range. And we're in totally in the middle of the range and we're like in premium of the range. Right? Like I mean technically like on the day we're not. We just hit premium right then, but you know what I mean? Like we're longing after like a massive long move up, like 150 points from the low. So it's a lot lower probability. 1208. Nah, it's invalid. Hit the high first. Now this one we could have a conversation about. This close was valid, and then we got the setup. I mean, we had the tiny VI, but with this momentum up, it's not going to matter, right? I mean, it's 25 points in 2 minutes, so you can take that all day and not have to worry about the VI. And then go to break even once we hit here. So break even there, and then it just never hits break even from there, and you could just try and hold for the equal highs. Yeah, I know. This is what I wanted to get filled. Had we hit this 15-minute before we ran, I would have taken that 30-second inverse there. But we didn't. We just barely missed it, so. So, by the way, as long as we're holding this 1 minute, I think longs are good for higher here. But if we break this 1 minute down, then I'm guessing we're just going to dump. There is like a bearish SMT still here with the 1140 high, but it's just like more so that the indices are uncorrelated and less to do with it being an actual SMT that we use to like find trade confluences. I was kind of explaining this earlier in the one-on-one I had this morning that you know, how do you know that like what's the difference between the indices being uncorrelated versus it being an SMT, right? Well, an SMT is usually going to form after we sweep liquidity or hit some major PD array, and then usually it's going to form on the 1 minute time frame. But if you can find SMTs across multiple different time frames and it just looks like the indices are uncorrelated and one is just way stronger than the other, that's how you know the difference between that. So the 3 minute at 11:42. You're saying you took this one? Interesting. Yeah, that's like last 3 minute gap. You know, running it to the high. That's a model that I used to trade. Um, it's fine. Like the win rate on that model was crazy. Yeah, the 30-second long here was probably the best thing you could have taken. But the problem is, who's trading during lunch? You know, like we gotta wait to trade during the kill zone. So if you trade during lunch, you're building bad habits. You want to be building good habits, right? Yeah, that makes sense. Because we got it after 1 o'clock. So Yeah, James. That's why I said it's a model I used to take. The reason why I used to take it is because the win rate was so high. Like you if you look at the last 3 minute gap in a leg and you see the hit rate of it sweeping the next liquidity, like the next high, it's like such a high win rate. Um, so even though you're like shorting in discount because you're shorting the last bullish gap in the leg, or you're longing in premium because it's the last bearish gap in the leg, it didn't really matter because the win rate was like so high regardless. I don't know why that was the case. It was just like something that Leopard noticed, and I incorporated it into my trading for like a few months, and then I was like, nah, it's building bad habits. So, but yeah, it's not like something I would take because, like I said, it's building bad habits, right? And like oftentimes I'd find myself like longing against liquidity, and it's just better to trade based on liquidity and have like a fixed entry model. The win rate is high whenever you inverse the last 3 minute gap in a leg. You'll usually see price, it'll work to like the following high. So, like, for example, this is the trade that Renate took today, and it's the last 3 minute gap, and you treat it just like a normal IFG, where if we close below, that's the stop. But what you'll see is you'll see like the last 3 minute get inversed, and then the following high hit, and that will happen like so often. So this is another example. So last 3 minute gap in the leg here gets inversed, and let me just run to the low. Um, Here's another example. Last 3 minute gap in the leg runs to the high here. This actually happened during PM yesterday. Um, Here's another example. Last 3 minute gap in the leg, inversed on this candle, runs to the low. So the stop, like the RR on a lot of those trades was bad, but the win rate is just so high. I mean, I just went through four just randomly, not even looking at kill zones, and they all worked. Let me find a loser. Nah, it's actually impossible to find a loser on this. Last 3 minute gap in the leg. Inversed here, no stop, runs to the low. Last 3 minute gap in the leg here. Inversed it, runs to the high. Like it's impossible to find a loser on this. Like it works so consistently. I guess you have here, but you have to still trade with like the same like IVG mentality, right? It has to be an obvious gap. This gap isn't obvious. It's only 3 points big. So you want to try and aim for gaps that are like obvious still. But there's a loser technically, Um, I think this worked. I don't know. This one close to the tick and then hit the low first, so it doesn't count. This one here worked too. Last gap in the leg, and this is at 6 in the morning. Last gap in the leg, inversed, hits the high. So, I don't know. Those are just like cherry picked examples, I guess. Like you could try and back test them. That's what we did when we were initially looking at it, but it works so often. Specifically the 3 minute, yeah, monkey. I don't know why, but it just works. I definitely wouldn't use it though. Just keep doing the same things that we've been doing because you know this is what's profitable. But if you're interested in it, go back and look. It's just a really stupid way to chase. But yeah, it works here too. Last 3 minute inversed hits the high. Works perfectly until it doesn't. Exactly, right? The biggest problem with it is that the risk to reward on these trades sucks so often that it's not really worth taking most of the time. And then um, I don't know. It's like the whole long in premium and shorting in discount issue too. But that's funny. I mean, I just went through and I looked at like six different examples, and none of them were fails. So yeah, Rennie, it makes sense. The only problem is like it's not the like most obvious gap in the world. It's only 4 points, but the draw on liquidity was definitely higher, and we took out um the liquidity target from today. That like was like the problem target, that 4 hour low. So just basing it off liquidity, you made the right trade. So looks like we're gonna get this 1 minute inverse down. This is probably where I'd stop out of the trade. I mean, we might just sweep this liquidity and hold the gap though. So I'd wait till the actual close. But um, yeah. So there's the close. I don't think I would have wanted to see this gap inverse. We're probably gonna go lower now. Probably down to this at least this 15 minute. Um, it is 2:30 by the way. We have these equal lows below. So this could work for like an eval short, to be honest, but I don't want to be short biased at all, since we've already swept the like low target that I think we're going to get today, um, and so it's just better to play to your bias. Does look tempting though. It does look like something that could work. I don't want to take it. We've already dropped so much today. So, Gus, the problem with trying to target the equal lows there is that we have this 15 minute in the way that could stall price or just cause it to react. And then also, we've already hit the 4 hour low, so we took out a major sell side liquidity pool. So, there's not really any reason for price to want to go lower here on the higher time frame. I mean, there's no obvious draw on liquidity down. It's just the 1 minute equal lows, and they're practically side by side, so it's not the greatest draw on liquidity, but I guess we'll just have to see. It's better to take trades when you have an obvious draw, and when you don't, it's just best to sit on your hands and wait and go with the trend. Yeah, so like a trade we could potentially take is us hitting this 15 minute for value gap down here and then getting a long. At 20,760. Yes, that's the one. Specifically 76225. Ooh, okay. feel like we're about to drop. But yeah, these are like choppy price conditions. Like this is bad PA. You shouldn't be trading in this. That's another reason why this is not a very good trade, even with the equal lows below. I mean, one thing we talk about is if you look in the 1 minute time frame and you see the wicks are bigger than the bodies, like that's telling you something. See if this candle, 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 the body's bigger. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Then you have this candle. That's okay. That one's good. That one's bad. That one's good. Good. Bad. 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 So there's obviously you can see the majority of the candles have bigger wicks than they do bodies here, which is just indicative of bad PA. So here's 35. So there would be like the break even on this like paper slash forward testing slash tape read short. So let's see if we would get break even on this trade if we were actually in it before the target. Is this good RR? Let's check. Yeah, it's okay. It's just okay. Wait, Adrian, you're still holding the long? All right. Well, we would have gotten break even anyway, so just really sloppy, poor price conditions. Barely missed the equal lows there. And the main reason why was because what? What did I say earlier? We might hit the 15-minute before we hit the equal lows. So we hit the 15-minute before the equal lows. It would have been a break-even trade, but it's crazy. Now let's see if the break-even ends up saving us. Maybe there's 30-second. Yeah, no, I'm not taking that. Do you have a daily profit target? If yes, can you share it? I would like to have 200 daily per account, hopefully one day. Yeah, so my daily profit target is just one A plus trade on my MFFU and one A plus trade on my Apex. That's my profit target. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm glad that makes sense for you. I'm glad you got that. You really shouldn't go into the day with like a set goal because that's just going to elicit bad trading habits, right? You know, you might take a trade and be up like 170 bucks on the day and you're like, "Oh god, I need to trade more. I need to get, that last $30 to hit my profit target." And then you end up taking bad trades and you don't take high quality trades, whatever. My goal for the day is an A plus trade. If I don't get it, I don't get it. So, the best thing is to just trade and take good trades, and the profits will come with that. And the way that you end up making more money and you hit higher profit targets is by scaling, right? You should always be comfortable. Yeah, if I get an A plus on my MFFU, I switch to my Apex, and then if I get an A plus on my Apex, I'll be done for the day. And usually, how it works is I'll get an A plus in the morning on my MFFU, I'll stop trading that, and then I'll switch to my Apexes, and then I'll try and get another A plus in the morning. If I don't get it, then I'll switch to PM, and I'll try and get an A plus on PM, and then if I don't get it, then I don't get anything for the Apexes. And vice versa, right? If I don't get anything for the AM, then I stick with the MFFUs and I trade the MFFUs on PM. And then if we get like two trades on PM, then I can switch to the Apex accounts and also trade those on PM. But I always start with my MFFUs. No, I set my profit targets at liquidity. I set my profit targets after 1-to-1 RR at liquidity targets. So the break even there would have saved us, and we would have never hit the liquidity target there. Those equal those. So this is what I'm talking about. This is bad PA. We should have hit those equal lows. Um, the 15-minute there was the roadblock, like I said it was going to be. So probably just going to continue to trend up here. We got the 2-minute inverse here now. If I had to guess, we're probably just going to continue to trend upward for the rest of the day. Yeah, so like specifically, well, this is what I'll do, right? So let's say I took this 30-second long, okay? The stop on this would be if we re-inverse down, okay? So the take profit 1 would be when we reach this high. So this is where I would take like only like a contract off here, right? Maybe cover commissions, do whatever, because I truly think that the draw is higher and I have high conviction in that, right? So if I'm in from here, I'll take 1 off at the high, set my stop to break even, and then I might try and hold for like an RR target at this point. So the whole stop on this trade would be 4 points. So that's like 5R. So maybe I'll take, a couple more off at 5R for like 20 points. And then after that, I'll just hold for the last target, which in this case was the equal highs. Something like that. But I won't take profit until we hit at least 1R. Perfect. 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 Just joined. Any trades so far? No, but we had a good idea of where liquidity was going, so a couple people were in longs and they were able to take it to the equal highs here, and now we're just watching and waiting to see if anything's going to happen. But Kioma, it's really low volume conditions since it's the session before the holiday, so probably not going to get a whole lot. So yeah, no trading until Monday, or so enjoy the long weekend. Monday we'll be back, and then it'll be NFP week. If you want to keep trading, there's a lot of other instruments you could be trading. It's not just equities and forex and options. There's also this fancy new security that everybody's talking about called meme coins. So if you wanna trade, you can always trade meme coins. Yeah, this morning was tough. I only took one trade for break even. All right, sounds good, Ursula. Okay, so we're about to enter the macro, and it looks like this 2 minutes being respected, and we're about to put in a 2 minute OB. So this could just launch price up here. So yeah, once we got that OB, I'd figured it would just launch price to the following high, and now I'm guessing we're just going to keep going up. This is the next to last 3 minute swing. So this is the high that we'd be targeting once the 3 minute gets inversed here. So let's forward test and see if the model still works. But yeah, we're about to get the macro now in about 30 seconds. So So yeah, you guys can clearly see what happens throughout the day whenever we get on correlated indices, whether it was this morning's price action or right now. Um, I don't think PM has actually had too bad of uncorrelated PA, but it still has just been way too sloppy, just for all the other reasons I mentioned, like the wicks being bigger than the candles, and um, just the low volume and whatever. This PA in the last 20 minutes we've gotten has been okay. Candles obviously bigger than their wicks, the bodies, and just solid momentum up with the price creating 1 minute for value gap. So that's what we want to see out of like decent PA, but that was mostly I think because of the macro time that we entered from 2:30 to 3, and then obviously we have the hourly macro close. So bro, what is happening, dude? I went up and I read through indices chat right now, bro. I just do not, if like, you just don't go read it. Just save yourself. All right, Adrian, it's been a pleasure. We'll see you next week. All right, so this 1 minute inverse down is interesting. Definitely interesting. We've left 5 equal highs on ES though. Whenever we start stacking equal highs on ES, I start to get a little concerned. Um, but yeah. All right, monkey. I will. We'll catch you later. We'll see you next week. All right, so looks like we're gonna get it. We're leaving triple equal highs behind though, so I don't think I can long with triple equal highs. I mean short, 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 short. Ooh, this is gonna go back up, and we're gonna go back for these. I like that close. It was very algorithmic. Don't fail me, market. Go for the triple equal highs. All right, so I'm already kind of getting the feeling that people are ready to start their holiday weekend. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna stay on charts for 30 more minutes, and then I think we will see if PA is good. If it is, we'll stay on, just like we did yesterday. If it gets worse, then we'll call it, and we'll see you Monday. All right, Maya. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a great rest of your weekend. So when I'm talking about side by side equal highs and equal lows as being insignificant or significant, if they're triple equal, that turns into like a magnet. Anything over two becomes a magnet on price. Yeah. Those become just as good as like the equal highs that are like separated, right? Like one time there was a morning we woke up and there was like seven equal high or equal lows that we left. And it was during Asia and the market had already pumped like 250 points after Asia session, right? So we were up almost 300 points past those equal lows, and within that same trading session, it didn't matter. We came back for those equal lows because they're such a strong draw. This was like a few months ago when this happened, and I had marked them out because it was crazy. I hadn't seen that many equal lows together stacked like that, but whenever they're all the same like that, it becomes like just an insane draw on liquidity because all of the volume from all of these candles is all sitting at that high now. But obviously, during low volume conditions, it isn't like the greatest because PA is like terrible. This is definitely getting better. This is definitely the best PA it's been. Like since 2:30 it's been pretty good. I really wish we hadn't, left that many equal highs behind, but it's okay. If we hadn't left these equal highs behind, I probably would have been looking at this as a short. But that's kind of hindsight for me to say. But it's an obvious gap. We swept liquidity, so this is the model. I probably would have taken this. Target the low. Short right from 50 too. Maybe even target like the equal lows. 3-1 with the 23 take profit and 7-point stop. Let's hope it would have been like a break even trade regardless. Price has to come back up here. I'd feel better about it if this ends up being a break even. What do I think were the best plays today? The 12:08 30-second long, but it was out of the kill zone, so that's not even a good trade. By the way, this is the 3 o'clock candle. And then honestly, there wasn't a good play today. I think this 30-second was okay, but there wasn't like a good light bulb play for me. Like if you took no trades today, you're probably in the right group. Um, this 2 minute was just okay. I mean, if you caught it, good for you, but come on, break even. So we have no FOMO. Fahrenheit, do you see any obvious like light bulb plays that are within the kill zone? All right, cool. This play would have been break even, so I have zero FOMO. 15-second. I'm guessing it's a long. Yeah, no, nothing. 30-second. So remember what I said about shorts. I don't really want to short here since we've already put in low of day. Um, that's another reason why like that short sucks. You're just not going to see these expensive moves that you want to see with a short setup. What would I rate 1142? Are you talking about the 3 minute? Or just this inverse? You're longing after price is pumped 100 points from the low, almost. So probably not the highest setup. Maybe like a B minus. Pretty sure it's like negative RR2, right? Because if you're entering from here and your stop is here and your TP1 is obviously going to be the high, right? Yeah, so that's 0.5 RR. So just a bad trade, not a good one. Ursula, maybe flip a micro contract just in case. I don't think so, but because it's like a shortened trading week. But just in case, like if you can just like enter and exit a micro, is that against the rules for fundeds for MFFU? Is flipping allowed? Yeah, that makes sense. Fahrenheit. If flipping's allowed, flip a contract just in case. If not, then forget it. All right, everyone, look away. Probably indices chat, man. So yeah, break even would have saved you on the short there. So it looks like the 2 minute is gonna work. It took us to the high there. Fahrenheit for me. I like limiting myself to the 2 kill zones because it prevents overtrading. If I make concessions for launch and I say, well, like this might be good, this might be okay, whatever, I'm inviting myself the opportunity to overtrade. When if I stick to a set rules, it's going to limit my overtrading. And the biggest thing isn't, that the setups are going to fail or yeah, whatever. It's going to be my psychology, right? So if you trade during lunch, it's almost like trying to drive through traffic. It's just not as good. Like, sure, you might get to your destination, but you had to waste a lot of your psychology, a lot of your gas to get to your destination, right? Because you're just sitting in bumper to bumper traffic. So it's best to just wait for the highway to clear up. So it's not necessarily about the PA or about the trade itself, or even about like the fact that it's lunch. It's more so just about your psychology. And that's something that I think a lot of people miss. Not necessarily saying that you missed it, but a lot of people that try and like find excuses to trade outside of the kill zone aren't focusing on the bigger picture, which isn't necessarily that it's a bad trade or that, you know, the PA's bad or whatever. It's that you're inviting yourself the opportunity to end up with bad psychology and to end up making bad habits, to end up over trading. So that's the main thing. Does that make sense, chat? Like, does that connection and the reason why, we say these things make sense now outside of the whole PA being bad thing? The rules we have in place most of the time aren't set because they're hard set rules of like, oh, you can't trade during or outside of the kill zone because you're going to lose mechanically. They're set to help limit your over trading or help limit your psychological issues that you have while trading. Like having a stop loss. Like that's a rule that we have in place. Not necessarily because a stop loss is going to prevent, you know, a winning trade from, or like it's not going to like help you like become profitable. The stop loss itself isn't going to help you become profitable, but it's the stop loss being there is going to help prevent bad trading habits. None of the things that we have as rules are going to help you become profitable. The rules are set to help your psychology, which your psychology is what's going to make you profitable. Dang, the chat is so dead today. Did I say something wrong? Do I smell? Are you guys all you know, just like taking a nap, anticipating the work from Thanksgiving? Everybody's active in indices chat? Yeah, that's the problem. Everybody's trying to be active in indices chat. Nah, you're good, Kioma. I'm just being insecure or whatever, right? So this could be just another, PM model, playing out, right? This is the last leg that took us to the daily target, being this 1 hour low. Okay. And then after we've swept it, we retrace 50%. And since we've hit 50, we've just chopped. So that's the other thing too to identify bad PA is just monitoring that, right? Because we know that that is like something that just kills price action. We can see all before the run up to 50%, we just slowly grind it up, and it was pretty clean. We went straight to the target. After we've hit 50, it's been awful. You too, Ursula. Yeah, thank you, Renee. Have a good holiday. Thanks, Shadka. All right, so I think just based off this price action, we kind of know like what's going to happen for the rest of the day. So I want to take this as an opportunity to have any other questions that need to be asked answered, and then after that we can kind of reflect and figure out what the goal is for next week, and maybe talk about what news we'll anticipate and kind of the expectations on the higher time frame and what the outlook will be like. All right, Dave. We'll see you next week. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, for sure. So the biggest thing is I look for higher time frame liquidity targets as draws, right? And then obviously, stuff in the lower time frame too, like equal highs and equal lows and data wicks. And what I look for on the higher time frame specifically are unfilled PD arrays and obvious lows and like previous day low, previous day high, right? And then once I figure out draw, I try and figure out where we're delivering from in the higher time frame. So in this case, we're delivering from this daily SIBI, right? This BPR. And we're also delivering from this hourly or 15-minute SIBI here. Okay. That's also an hourly. And those two things told me that today's bias was going to be bearish, targeting some low down here, whether it was this low or this low. And it kind of depended on what fair value gaps we broke, right? So that's how I know kind of the rest of the market confluence, right? So if we broke this 1 hour down, which has been supporting price, we're probably going to target the next low, which is this one. And then if we broke this 1 hour down, then we're probably going to target the next low, which is this one. Okay? And now that we've swept all this liquidity, all these lows, what you can anticipate is a reversal, okay? Because after we sweep liquidity, there's always a retracement. And that retracement is where you can make money to the 50% or, to an unfilled fair value gap, like the 1 hour here or whatever, right? And so when I was looking for trades this morning, I was looking for opportunities to enter short or opportunities to enter long after sweeping liquidity, like this low here or this low down here or this low here, right? But once we started to accelerate past those lows, I stopped looking for longs and I switched to bearish again, right? So it's going to continue to depend on a few things, like how we react to sweeping liquidity is one. And then the other part is what do we do during the macro time frames, right? So specifically 9:50 to 10:10, right? Are we going to get that 10 a.m. reversal? If we don't, then I'm starting to anticipate like trend day conditions, okay? And that's kind of like what we got today. And then after we have figured out bias on the higher time frame and what I want, I'll just go to the lower time frame and I will identify spots where we sweep liquidity, and then I'll try and look for a long after that. And you know what I look for in the model, specifically to take. And it would be the opposite. If we were pumping and then we took liquidity like buy side, I would look for a short. Does that make sense, Asem? So in this case, are you looking for long to the equal lows prior to longing? Yeah. So in this case, I think there's not going to be anything because there's no good draws in liquidity left. The only remaining draw are those equal lows, but outside of that, we've already hit like every major draw, and all the other draws that we could go for, like this ITH or whatever, are too far away at this point. So at this point, I'm not really looking for anything. I'm just neutral. Prior to this, though, the draw that I was looking at were these equal highs, right? But then after those got hit, I didn't really have anything. And the reason why those I thought would be a good draw is because they sat right around 50%, and they were equal highs inside of a fair value gap. And those are always going to be a good draw. But without a good draw, then I don't really know what my bias is. See, there's two components to bias, right? It's where we're delivering from and draw. And if we don't have one, then I can't form a bias. And that's going to help you if you're looking to take a trade, and like if you don't have the bias, then you shouldn't be looking to take a trade, right? The way that I journal now is I just make content, but before when I used to journal, I would just have a Notion or Doc or whatever that I would journal my trades in and put down the exact times, and I take screenshots of the trade and give my thoughts about what I was thinking. But no, I don't. My trade log at this point is just YouTube. So this would be interesting. We have a bullish SMT with a obvious 2-minute gap, and we're getting kind of a decent reaction off of it. Now at this point, am I gonna take a trade this close to Thanksgiving on funded? Probably not, because I don't want to go down to, sit at the table and think about the one trade that I missed. But this is a good eval trade if we get it. I don't know if we're gonna get it, but I like this. The SMT, the reaction we got after sweeping the low, the obvious gap. There's just not, like I said, a good draw above. So that's why it's an eval trade, right? Because there's no good draws. Especially to buy side. Maybe to sell side we have the equal lows, but yeah, no. Another reason why it's an eval trade is because we have the equal lows below too. So conflicting draws, right? We have obviously the ITH sitting inside the 1 hour gap, and then we have the equal lows there. Two unnamed Nissan executives said the company has 12 to 14 months to survive. Nissan cut more than 9,000 jobs last week while simultaneously slashing production by nearly 20%. Nissan's operating profit dropped 85% in Q3. Wow. What happened to Nissan? By the way, Nvidia just broke the 50-day EMA. That doesn't matter to me at all. I just saw something on Twitter, and I think I'm a bear for Nvidia right now. Not because of the 50 EMA, but just because of everything else surrounding it. Yeah, for all the fans, but you guys have Oktoberfest, so we don't get that in the States. I mean, we get like a wannabe Oktoberfest, but you guys get the real thing. Do I have an idea of how many points I catch per week? Points is like a really bad way to like measure profitability. The best way is like RR, and normally I catch like 3 to 4 R a week. But points, I'd say that's probably around like 100, something like that. I mean, some weeks are better than others. Obviously, there's trades I take where I hit 150 points in a single trade, but then there's some weeks where I take 30. So it depends. Dollar wise, anything over like 100 per account, like I'm happy with that. I mean, I try and shoot for like 2 or 300 per 50K, but if I hit 100, which is the profit target on MFFU, I'm happy. But I'm obviously copy trading that, right? So Yeah, so like you're complaining that you don't have Thanksgiving, but you got Oktoberfest. How many accounts can you copy trade with MFFU? You can copy trade 3. Thanks, Thompson. Sorry I couldn't showcase a winning trade, but we'll get it next week. I'm positive, no doubt. It's just tough because PM is already like lower volume conditions than AM, and then you combine that with like the holiday trading, and it's like completely dead. So, not to say that like PM is completely unserviceable compared to AM. Like obviously you can see we take winning trades, but it's just during these conditions it's not the best. Times 20 trading days is 4K a month. That's true, yeah. But that's assuming you take a winning trade every day. So don't be unrealistic, right? By saying that you're shooting for 4K a month, that's being unrealistic. You need to be more realistic than that. You need to be like, okay, if everything works perfectly, I will make $4,000 a month. But realistically, with the win rate and everything else, it's probably going to be closer to like 2,500 to 3K. And that would be like per account. So you scale that across, you know, 5 Apex accounts, you're looking at 10K. All right. I don't know about you guys, but I just cannot see this PA getting much better than this. So at this point, does anybody have any remaining burning questions? Um, yeah, if you want to walk away with a few crumbs, Jayhawk. I mean, what is the line right now? Like minus 1,100 or something? Like dark for sure. Minus 500? Ooh. The problem is the Lions always suck on Thanksgiving. I don't know, man. Do what you want with your money. I don't sports bet, but yeah, I think Lions are a lock. So do with that what you will. Alrighty, well, with that being the case, I hope all of you are able to find some time to spend with your family over the next couple of off days. You know, maybe take some time aside, study, find a good deal on Black Friday, enjoy some turkey, and we will catch you back next Monday with hopefully some better PA and some heavy anticipation for Christmas and the rest of the holiday season. So I will catch you guys then. Go Lions. Happy Thanksgiving. And peace out.